got a real corker for you today. Here we've actually got the open mine shaft of Oakle Tor Mine. Pat's got this rope wizardry going on. Imagine abseiling down this mine shaft over here and heading out on the banks of the Tamar over almost half a mile away over here. That would just be astonishing. One of the things that's so much fun about mine exploring is that no two adventures are the same with this. We're going to be doing this crazy sort of like swinging maneuver to get out to this thing.
All right, guys, here we are, stood as we often are next to an open mine shaft. So Ben, tell us what we're doing here today.
Oh folks, we've got a real corker for you today. So we've come right up to the Devon border. If you turn your glance over in this direction, you're looking in the Forbidden Lands. Thank God we're on the Cornish side. But in front of me over here, we've actually got the open mine shaft of Oakle Tor Mine. It's a copper mine, it was working in the 1830s, but most of what you see is actually a lot later, I think from the early 20th century. In front of us is a big open mine shaft, and Pat's got this rope wizardry going on over here.
So Pat's lurking there behind the foliage. Say hello, Pat.
Hello.
Pat is our very good mate, and we owe a huge debt to Pat. He's taught us pretty much most of what we know about mine exploration, to be fair.
Us and a lot of people.
Yeah. So tell us more about the mine, Ben.
So the mine, we've got this plan that we're trying to hatch with this. We've had a look at the old maps that are in Cressenkerne at the moment in Redruth, and they seem to indicate that the shaft's going to be about 60 feet deep, 20 metres, and we should then encounter the old adit level, which was used as the drainage tunnel. Now we've had a look, and it doesn't appear that either entrance is open. However, the tunnel does head in this direction over here, and we're actually on a little peninsula in a bend in the Tamar River. And the Tamar, it sort of comes down past Gunnis Lake like this, and then it curves up and round with this big sort of bulbous peninsula with a farm called Harewood here. Now we're situated on the on the narrowest point of this peninsula. So the hope is that if we can get into this adit tunnel, it's going to head all the way over to the other side of the peninsula, opposite Morwellum Quay. And if we can do that, that's going to be astonishing. Imagine abseiling down this mine shaft over here and heading out on the banks of the Tamar over almost half a mile away over here. That would just be astonishing. In reality, of course, we have no idea what we're going to find. We could abseil down and actually it's flooded. That's an entirely likely possibility, especially if the tunnels are collapsed at the entrances. Or it could be the case that the air is not bad, so we've actually got a gas meter prepped as well. Certainly it's most likely going to be the case that we abseil down, and if we do get into any major adit system, there's going to be some sort of collapse or blockage. But what is clear is that the old maps do show an adit tunnel that goes from this side of the Tamar all the way over here. Mega exciting.
Ben, you've brought me uncomfortably close to Devon. We're obviously do much of what we do right down in the far west of Cornwall, so how comes we're up here today? How did you find about this mine, and how did we get to come and explore it?
So it's all mine explorers' dreams to actually go somewhere and have permission to do it. And we've actually been asked by the landowner here, who's actually really interested in the mine. He's owned it for a while. He's actually done a load of restoration work. And so we were actually asked to explore this.
It's a beautiful
place.
site. I mean, yeah, it's amazing.
It's stunning, and like I don't know whether you've shown everyone, but like the view over here is just beautiful. But yeah, we're actually doing this with permission, and as a result, we can actually park directly opposite here. We've got all the safety cover as well, and we've got all the equipment we could possibly need.
Yeah,
so
we're normally used to sort of hacking through meters of brambles and hawthorn and jumping over hedges.
Yeah.
This is genuine luxury. We've even been given lunch. Okay, Ben is hammering in some stakes for us to rig our ropes off. Look at the power in those blows. Okay, Ben, what's the rigging plan today?
Okay folks, so I'm standing inside the main engine house of Oakall Tor over here. Over this side over here, we've got the main engine shaft, and this is the bob wall. Now we're actually going to be heading off and up over through this window up here. So that's something I've never done before, and I'm really, really excited about it. The ropes are actually rigged to stakes behind the engine house over here in the old coal yard. So the ropes are going to be rigged equally amongst anchors just over here that we've just installed. The ropes will then fall up in this direction, up and over this window over here, and then down into the shaft. Now we're not quite done with that there. We're quite concerned about the edge of the shaft here because it looks a bit loose. And so what we're actually rigging the other side from a tree is what's known as an adjustable deviation. And so that's actually going to pull us away from that edge and allow us, hopefully, to sort of drop directly down the shaft without touching the sides, or at least that's the plan. So it should be something quite exciting for everyone. So for the viewers at home, one of the things that's so much fun about mine exploring is that no two adventures are the same with this. So we've come to a place, we had an idea in our head of what we'd be doing, totally different, and we've now come up with a plan, and it involves climbing a tree, rigging a rope over a balcony in the engine house, and then dropping down this shaft that's going to be 60 feet deep. You could never wake up in the morning and predict it. Really well done, mate. Right, that's the other end there, mate.
Yeah, cool. Okay, buddy, let go. Beautiful.
It's quite an interesting rigging, this one, isn't it, Ben? It's not kind of as straightforward as we often encounter.
Yeah, so this is one of those classic examples of just like why mine exploring is so much fun. You have an idea in your head before you start of what it's going to be like, and in reality, it's totally different. So when we actually arrived here, I had imagined very, very simple. A rope goes over the edge of the mine shaft with a bit of edge protection, and then down the mine shaft itself.
That's what we normally works. That's what we're used to doing.
And that's the case for most mine shafts. What we found over here in this mine shaft is that the edge is hideously overhanging, and so we want to be as far away from that as possible. But the location that we have here has afforded us a few advantages, right? And so this is what I actually want to show you guys. We've actually got the ropes rigged up behind us over here, and they're all equalised. And the ropes actually feed over here like this. And you might have seen it a minute ago, but they actually head up and through this window of the engine house like this. And the reason we're doing that is because if we keep the ropes nice and high, they're actually then very far away from the collar of that mine shaft that's so loose and what we want to avoid. We've also got another rope rigged up from a tree that you probably seen just a minute ago or will see. And by actually attaching that rope to this one, we actually form a deviation. And so we're going to be doing this crazy sort of like swinging maneuver to get out to this thing. And then when the two are attached, it's going to form a V like this that pulls us out into the free hanging centre of this mine shaft.
It's good stuff, and luckily we've got our friend Pat here, who's like a rigging guru, really. So it's kind of his masterpiece. So I'm going to come up and have a look at what you've got us into, mate. What a lovely way to start a mine explore, going through going through this window. So there's our shaft in there.
What are you boys taking down then?
So I've got the standard kit that I take down with me every time. I've got my gloves and I've got a couple of slings over here, a few spare carabiners. I'm going to be sending with the stop. I think the main thing that I'll be taking down with me is the gas meter, just so I can actually monitor that as we're descending.
Why do you think you need that then?
Well, I'm a little bit concerned that there might be no other entrances to the mine that actually allow a vent path, and so it could be the case that bad gases have built up. But that's what that meter will show us.
It's turf mixed up with a few little cheeky rocks, so I'm going to probably do a bit of landscaping with this one. It's stuff like that that's less pleasant. Otherwise it does look fairly solid. That's less than pleasant. All the loosest rocks that I can see are now very much away from me, which is nice. I'm away from them. Okay, mate.
What did you find, dude?
Oh man, got down to adit level and it didn't look like there was an easy way on. I could see where the adit was, but it was this ochre dam right the way to the roof.
Oh
It was
God.
weird because the water level was actually quite low. It suggests that it might have been higher in the past, but either way, there was no chance I was going to break through 6 feet of ochre dam whilst I was down there. But folks, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
We explore not because we know what we're going to find, but because we don't, and that's the fun.
Good job, man.
Okay guys, well that concludes our day's exploring. Matt, what did you think? What do you think of what we found?
Well, it's always nice to check out somewhere new. It's really interesting. Unfortunately, we didn't find any way on. But you know, we went down the shaft and we found this interesting ochre dam. So you don't see them everywhere. And that's just the nature of what we do. We're more often than not, we're trying to find new stuff that no one's explored before. Sometimes you find amazing extensive workings. Sometimes it's a short trip just like today.
Indeed, and folks, well, if you enjoy what we did, even if it was short, certainly we had a load of fun with just the technical aspects. Those ropes were awesome. If you like what we do, keep up to date with us, follow us on our social media, certainly subscribe to our YouTube channel. If there's somewhere that you would like us to explore in the future, comment down below. We're certainly looking for new places like that. You can expect a lot in the future. And for now, folks, take it easy, stay tuned.